In this video, I want to have a look at parabolas as a locus. So we know that the parabola is the locus of all points that are a fixed distance from a given point called the focus and a fixed line, which we're going to call the directrix. So this video is all about introducing the new terminology that we have to do with parabolas. So in our diagram, that blue line there, that's our parabola. And we have our focus right in the middle here. And we have our directrix, which is that green line along the bottom. So every single point on that blue line on our parabola is the same distance from the focus as it is from the directrix. So that's what these pink lines here are showing us. So our next term is the vertex, and we know that term, we're familiar with it. It's the turning point of our parabola. But the new little part of that is that it's the midpoint between the focus and the directrix. So it's exactly halfway between. Every parabola will have an axis of symmetry. So in this one, that's that purple line running down there. But using our new terminology, we know that that axis of symmetry is going to pass through the focus of the parabola, and it's going to be perpendicular to that directrix. The next term is what's called the focal length. So the focal length is the distance from the focus to the vertex, so that distance there. And we usually use the letter A to denote the focal length. Now, if the distance from the focus to the vertex is A, then that also means that the distance from the vertex down to the directrix is A as well. The next term is what's called the lattice rectum. So the lattice rectum is a chord that passes through the focus and is parallel to the directrix. So a chord can be any line that passes from one point on the parabola to another. So if we joined those two dots together, we would form a chord. But our lattice rectum is a particular chord. It's passing through that focus, so that means it's a focal chord, and it's also parallel to the directrix. Now the length of the lattice rectum is 4a, which means it's 4 times our focal length. And you can actually see that really clearly on our diagram. We've got our focal length here as 1 unit, and you can see that the lattice rectum is 4 units long. And the last little note is, it's not a new terminology, but it's just 2 things to keep in mind, is that any 2 parabolas are similar shapes or similar figures, and any 2 parabolas that have the same focal length will be congruent. All right, so that's a whole pile of new terminology that we need to be aware of when we're talking about parabolas as a locus.